Are you well, lads?
How are you getting on, lads?
Good stuff.
Not too bad, lads.
Mighty lads. We're all good lads.
We'd be top.
Right, so
we are good boys.
We're just about to do the second Agony Uncle podcast for Dead Hedgehogs. We are joined by myself again, Peter Cassidy, the one and only, the other one and only, Mikey Salmon, and then of course we have Chris the Sledgehammer Gav again here as well, and he's doing all the technical stuff and making sure it's all recorded well and the sound is good, and hopefully the sound comes out a bit better this time. I was picked up of it last time, but what can you do? We're going to have proper mics as well each time, so hopefully the sound will be A1. We have ordered them with a couple of weeks. They were meant to be here last week, but they're not here yet. But anyway, how are you all doing, lads?
Not too bad. You have to piss with the cock you got, like.
No, you gotta dance with the lady that's left in the barn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How are you, Mikey?
Not too bad. I'd have a clever quip there, but I'm only a little bit into the pint, so.
That's all right. That's all right.
You've the best ability to make a pint look really, really nice, Mikey.
It's all in the hands, isn't it, Mikey?
Yeah.
That's what she said last night.
You do. You make it look really nice. So you do.
Cheers, Pete. You always say that about me.
Yeah, you're the best alcoholic I know.
What do we think of the weekend results with Trump and Biden?
It's not over yet, though. Apparently, he's not going to go. He's not going to go without a fight.
He's not going to go quietly. It's not his style.
No.
He
was never going to. He was never.
No.
But he'll hang on for dear life because.
Well, he can admit defeat, like.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's just not in his makeup at all, like.
And listen, lads, what also do you think? I know we're going off topic here for a second, but if the vaccine is proven to be 100%, would you take it?
I don't know. I'd be a bit nervous about taking it, to tell you the truth. I might give it a few years, see how it goes.
Well, in reality, it's not really needed for us, like.
Do you think?
No.
But will we not be made to?
Have you taken the flu vaccine?
No.
You know.
Well, I'd have to probably for work. I'd have to take it, so I can get back to you, lads. Tell you if it's working or not.
There's any side effects?
I take it. If I thought everything was going back to normal and if everyone was taking it, I would take it in a heartbeat.
I don't think everyone has to take it. It just is as long as a certain number of people in the population take it, then they get a herd immunity, and that's how it works.
That is.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough. But I think I would take it. If I thought it meant that everything was going to go back to the way it used to be, I'd take it in the morning.
Bill Gates.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, what if Bill Gates implanted fucking something in your bum?
If like his Willie.
No, never mind. We'll change the subject.
Right, listen. Okay, guys. Enough messing. We skip straight into a few problems?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Do you want to go with one of yours first, Chris?
Sure. So this message in. My boyfriend can't go out without doing coke, even if it might be only 2 or 3 pints. Out comes the bag. I'm not sure what to do. I feel like I have no other choice but to leave him. So he's a chunk monster.
He's an awful man for the chunk. Fucking hell. Gee, he can't go out at all without the chunk.
2 or 3 pints and he'll take out the bag, apparently. Like, she's obviously... she's been going out with this fella for a couple of years or whatever. So, but this has obviously been a steady decline into quite a heavy sessioner. What do you think, lads?
What do you think, Dave?
Maybe get him help, like, do you know what I mean? Like, get him a bit of help and fucking, like, if he's dependent on it that much, he get addicted to it, like, you know?
Cocaine addictive.
Cocaine is the fucking most addictive drug going.
Only if you put up your nose.
I wouldn't know, sure. I haven't tried. I've never went off it. But for anyone that's watching, I don't take coke at all. Once I think, well, it's actually a funny story of the gig up in Belfast where your man was on about Schnackta, and I kept agreeing with him, like, because it was actually snowing outside, and next thing, for some reason or other, he followed me into the cubicle of the toilet, and next thing he kept going on about Schnackta, and I was like, yeah, it's snowing outside. no. Next thing, then I realized what he meant when he took out the bag and a key as well.
Oh Christ!
Oh, stop lights. But anyway, that was a pantomime. But no,
I'd say for the best thing for your man to do is, or for the girlfriend to do is, fucking just talk to him honestly. Say she fucking loves him dearly, and like if he's like, my personal opinion on drugs is, if they had some sort of legality where they made pretty much everything legal and fucking monetized it like fucking alcohol. Do you know what I mean? That'll be my approach in a way, but it has to be debated in a public forum. Do you know what I mean? But that'll be my opinion. But we're a long way off that. So the shite he's probably getting is fucking the worst shit ever.
That's the other side of it.
yeah, well,
And I think from the text back and forth of this girl it seems to be this, even if she brings it up, it's causes a ruckus, you know. So I think how she approaches it becomes really important. So where she has to, in midweek, when things are all nice and settled, she has to land in having a conversation with him where she goes, listen, I'm really concerned. I don't want this to ruin our relationship. Tell him, but not in a aggressive way, just a concerned way. This is why she's bringing this to the table, and this is her concerns, and she has to do it without getting to this argument back and forth.
Yeah, 100%. I was listening to a podcast there today about cults, and they were saying, how do you deal with somebody that's in a cult? And your man used to be in a cult, and he was saying, the worst thing you could do is tell somebody they're stupid or they're fucking an idiot for getting in the cult. He said the best place is to come with a place out of love, you know what I mean? And try and win them over by just getting some common ground. So maybe do the things they used to like to do before the coke, or do some activity they used to like to do before the coke, and get him used to doing that, and see if that's getting in the way of his life. He might realize eventually himself that he needs a bit of help.
yeah, that's great advice, Pig. Yeah,
You know?
in my, like, as you know, that I'm not one for drugs, never was. Alcohol was my go-to. So I wouldn't be the best one advised on that. But as for vices, like you said, Pete, exactly. Try and distract away from that as best you can. Sit down when both of you are completely sober from drugs or alcohol and have it out and talk it through. And I don't like ultimatums, but sometimes you have to lay it out there that if this is really like bad abuse of cocaine or whatever, or it's really affecting the relationship, maybe it's time, like, it has to change. Simple as that. And then he sort of has a choice whether to stay on the coke or, you know, continue the relationship.
I don't think a massive ultimatum would work for this girl.
No.
Because they've had this battle back and forth, you know, where she goes, it's either me or the way you're doing.
Well, then you're putting it back on her. Then
Yeah.
that she has to decide whether she wants to continue on with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he has to be. It goes down to habit and addiction. Like, if he's got an addiction, he needs help. If he's just a fucking sneaky few lines at fucking every couple of months, fucking, even if him can slip and frost, like, do you know what I mean? But if he's addicted to it, he needs actual help, you know?
100%.
Yeah, like from I think it's not, I wouldn't say so much an addiction, but more when he's out, he, even if it's 2 or 3 pints, he's got this mindset that he's fucking out, you know?
Yeah. Do you know what age he is?
I'm guessing late 20s, but I'm not 100% sure. That would be a guess from chatting to you one, like. But
yeah. What do you think, Mikey?
Yeah, just was thinking, like, if if they haven't had the discussion, if she hasn't brought it up before, to bring it up and say that she is feeling that way, that she cannot, if he keeps continuing on that way, that she can't be with him anymore, and see what he says. And then if it is a thing where he needs more help, to try and persuade him to contact someone that he can talk to. Because like, especially now, if he's still doing the coke, even though that there's no real going out or anything like that, if they're living together and they have a few drinks at the weekend when they're not, and then he needs to continue still doing the coke, even though if it's not with his friends or when he's on a night out, like, it's a serious kind of problem, like, and that he probably needs to seek further, more professional help. But if it's just a casual thing that she doesn't want him to be doing, just to talk to him about it and see where that goes. It may be that they haven't brought it up, she hasn't brought it up to him to say that it's got this, that she's thinking of leaving him. So to maybe broach that first and see where that goes.
It's clearly it's everywhere across Ireland at the moment.
Yeah,
It's becoming more normalized. Like, I remember, like, years ago, if somebody took out a joint, you'd be like, oh fuck, it's a joint. But it's cocaine has become like fucking smoking joints now. It's fucking normal enough, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which fucking obviously people are doing it. There's a supply and demand. But no, I think if they regulated and fucking legalized the fucking lot and regulated like alcohol and fucking have it safe, then fucking why not? Like, but obviously it does detriment to your health and you don't know what you're getting. But that's a different debate. That's a different topic altogether. This fella seems like he's dependent on it after he has three drinks. Like, and like Mikey said, if he's in the house having 3 drinks, does he go fucking having coke in the gaff? Which sounds a bit.
I don't know if he is doing that in the house now. Like, if I think what she'd say, if he goes out on a Sunday, couple of pints to watch the football, then he's jumping into.
Well, I mean,
more
I can imagine, like I said, I'm not big into the coke, but I can imagine being at home and taking coke. It's not the same thing as going out and taking coke. If you're at home, there's more of a problem if you're still taking it at home. Am I not right in saying that?
Yeah, you could say the same for everything, you know. You could say the same for drink. You could say the same for every drug, you know.
Maybe.
You know. But I don't know, lads. It's a funny one.
Have it out in a sober way. That's what I would recommend. And
I think the approach is important there, to have this conversation that it's not attacking him and not making him feel like. I think that's advice for it if you want to try and get your point across, like what Pete was saying, you know, like if you're coming from a place of compassion and almost understanding, but
yeah,
he probably doesn't feel like he's putting his relationship at threat.
Yeah, and you never know what'll happen. Like 3 months down the line, he'd be thinking back to himself, "Fuck, what was I at?" Like, do you know what I mean? He mightn't think that he's doing it as much. He might just forget it, and then all he might need is just a bit of a talking to, and he might get over it completely. You know.
All right, lads. We hope we've helped out in somewhat that lady. I'll do one now. The first one that came into me was this one. Well, lads, first things first. Been following you guys since day dot. I'm a mail manager originally, but I'm living in the big smoke for a long time. Just wondering, what's your advice on anxiety? I suffer a lot myself. I have a high pressure job and have done well in that regard, but socially I find it difficult to interact with people outside work. I try to keep fit and go to the gym, but sometimes I turn around when I get to the door. I took great motivation from your run and your videos, your run videos, but sometimes the anxiety is too much.
I was going to make a joke there, but it's very inappropriate. Like, but yeah, I think we've had a few like this with anxiety, and
Yeah.
it's a common thread. It's a common thread, you know. So maybe there should be like a nationwide or even an international topic or debate on it, because more and more people have anxiety, you know. But
Yeah. It's is it, do you think a lot to do with society at the minute, social media, fear mongering, trying to be one better than the next person? Is it a byproduct of the good times?
I think this guy clearly has done well in his own job.
Yeah, yeah,
So
uh,
being in a high pressure situation
yeah,
is not it's not new to him.
yeah,
So his anxiety is more his how his inner self talk and where that's leading him. From the way I picked it up, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
what he's saying to himself on a regular basis.
yeah,
So that's where you have that little gremlin on your shoulder talking badly about yourself all the time. You're listening to that voice in your head that's quite negative.
mm,
That's where you have to get an element of control on trying to be more positive and think a little bit more logically about it.
yeah, and fair play to him for contacting the page. Like he opened up there, contact the page, no more than everybody else that contacts the page. You know, it's a great thing. And but yeah, listen, he's doing the right steps, and like everybody suffers from anxiety, but then somebody might have a medical condition. So I'd say if he just goes to his doctor, or even tells his doctor how he's feeling, you know,
yeah,
like it could be something simple, like it could be a vitamin, or it could be like a chemical imbalance. He might need a tiny bit of medication for a few months, and then he probably gets back to the way he normally is. You know what I mean? Or even if he goes to counsel and talks about it and
maybe
something like that, it might help him.
he has a mate he could confide in, and maybe I always say, I always give this advice: walk it out, talk it out, and walk it out. Go for runs with somebody. Your mind sort of clears, I find, when you're actually running. And the further you go, I always think that the mind sort of empties of the nonsense that's in your head, um, more so than when you're just sat down. So go out, maybe have a talk with a good friend. Keep contacting the page. This isn't the first time this fellow's contacted the page. Um, so yeah, get out for a walk or a run with somebody that you can have a chat with. And I get the impression this fella is proud as well. He's proud of like the job he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Clearly.
so
Yeah, and
he's done well.
he's probably entitled to be proud of it. He probably worked really hard for it, you know.
Yeah.
I know there's, you know, like in Australia, they set up men's sheds. Remember they heard about men's sheds? They realized that men won't talk about their problems unless they're working beside each other. And they set up men's sheds, and it did wonders in Australia, like middle of Australia. And so if they had a project, so like not everybody's into running or something, but like some people are into mechanicking, or some people are into computers, or but like the whole basis behind men's shed was these old boys or young boys would meet up and they'd work on something, and then while they're working on something, the work is the pretext to talk about their problems. So maybe he needs something like that, you know, with somebody.
Great idea.
Yeah, I was just thinking there, the definitely he should contact maybe a doctor, someone, or even the websites where you can be anonymous and talk to them. But it's worrying because obviously he used to go to the gym, and that was maybe helping him with his anxiety, and now he's turning away at the door of the gym. So maybe if he can maybe go out and run or do something like that, might help him as well. And just to know that it's not nothing strange that a lot of people suffer from it, and that
Oh, an awful lot.
I think one thing that people are realizing that anxiety is becoming more manageable as well.
Yeah.
Like there are more workshops and stuff online that you can go and find out to see where your anxiety is and what's the cause of it and how you can manage it a little bit better. dive into learning a bit more about yourself. And if you need to go to a doctor, then do it. It's like it just has to. It'll make your life
But
so much
definitely,
easier.
definitely don't bottle it in. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, I think you have to kind of talk about it to whoever it is, whether it's a stranger or family or a partner or whatever. Just to talk about it is the only way to kind of get through it, I think.
Yeah. Or even write it down. You know, like I said, when I was younger, I used to write stuff down to and then hand it to people to read. You're getting it out. You're getting it out there, and it's like writing it down is the same as actually speaking it. You know.
Yeah, 100%. And even the process of physically writing it down is kind of cathartic as well. Do you know what I mean? And he can feel better about it then once he's written down. You know.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sure we've the similar threads in previous podcasts, and like sometimes it's easy to say go for a run, and it's a simple bit of advice, but sometimes it helps. You know.
It fixes Stephen. So Stephen's going to say that works for me.
Yeah. It's not going to fix. It's not for everyone, but that's my advice on it.
Yeah.
Like there's so many other like
And
if he said that he was getting to the door of the gym, but he couldn't get beyond there.
That's right.
It's like then maybe fill your time with something else that's creative, because there is something really therapeutic about picking up a guitar and messing around with the guitar, or getting a drawing and doing or doing a painting, or you know, doing more creative stuff. Write a song, write a poem, you know. So
100%, yeah, 100%. And he obviously is in a high stressful job. Like even people, like this sounds silly, even people have coloring books for adults now, like, do you know what I mean? And we poke fun at it, but obviously they want to just color it, have a coloring book for a few minutes, and they're out of their mind. Do you know what I mean? I know you're laughing there.
got stuck on doing the draft, Peter.
Pardon?
So let me finish your one. No, you're 100% right. Listen, we shouldn't joke. Well, we will joke, but really, it's tongue in cheek. Anything that improves your mental health or your physical health is a plus. It's simple as that. We never say anything. If something you find something that's healthy improves your mental or physical health, well then it's a plus, hands down. Simple as that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, like it's one of these that comes up on a regular basis, because
and it will do again.
It always will. Yeah, and like there's no like I think most of the people with anxiety know a lot of the answers too.
Yeah.
It just like we've all had everybody in the world has certain moments of high anxiety, and how they process it is really difficult sometimes. And some people deal with it better than others, you know. So is that what you have to do is find out what's right for you, and just find something that is going to be therapeutic to release that anxiety, so you can think clearly and perform better at your job or in your relationships or whatever. Like,
yeah, and this should be a global chat, like, or even an Irish nationwide chat. It should be as common as the fucking GA or the fucking lollipop ladies. You know, in school there should be educational programs in place when you're a kid. So when you're feeling shit, that when you get older, you're like, oh, I learned this when I was younger. I know how to deal with it now, or I know who to contact. You know, so people don't feel alone. Everybody suffer from it, and the basis of this podcast is problem shared is a problem half. So he's made the first step of contacting the page. You know.
do you think school has developed compared to when we were in school on how to tackle subjects like anxiety or mental health issues?
I'd hope so. Obviously, I haven't been in school for a few years, but so I don't know what it's like. But Steve, you've kids. Yeah. How is it like in school for the kids these days?
Yeah, it's good. I was going to make another joke there, but I won't. It seems to be a lot better than it was. Like, we didn't hear anything about. We were just told. And I had brilliant teachers, but we were just told the academic side of teaching, and that's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And a little bit in fifth and sixth about people not touching in the bad places or the good places, and that's maybe that
It definitely wasn't just you, mate.
yeah.
All.
That's all. That's the only outside life thing that we were taught. It was basically do your maths, do your Irish, do your English, do your geography, do your history, do your art, do your PE, and then fuck off home.
But also, I think in school maybe they should make PE an actual subject. Like I think they're talking about doing it, but like I remember in school, like PE was a way for me to fucking just release all the fucking anxiety I had. You got to go outside and fucking kick a football around, and that sounds so simple, but it was such great crack. Do you know what I mean? And especially for somebody that wasn't academic or fucking, do you know what I mean? And they could incorporate some sort of mindfulness or meditation in the PE, or get people to talk about stuff in the PE class and make it a full, instead of just having fucking triple Irish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, but it's definitely improving. It probably has a bit to go, but it's definitely improving. I do know that.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were kids? Did anybody get this? When the nurses used to come in and check your balls?
Yes. Yes.
That was just you two fuckers, I think.
What the fuck was that about? Like
on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Why did the nurses come in and put their hands down your fucking balls?
Yeah.
Oh, it was with her mouth with me. So I don't know.
Wow, Mikey. Too much, Mikey, too much.
It was the tongue up the ass that was too much.
Again, this is all tongue in cheek. You get it?
Pardon the pun. Hey,
hey, drum roll, please. No, obviously, well, I'm presuming none of that happened. But they did come in and fondle the balls all right for a while.
Why was that? What was the base? They don't do that now.
No, to see if your balls are dropped. The two of them are dropped.
And like, what happened if they didn't drop? Are they fucking gonna pull it out or what?
Yeah, they pull it down.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
They would, yeah, because your balls can go up into your, like, not into your stomach or something. That's what she told me anyway.
She's added a 10-pound weight to it. Listen, we gotta get these fucking things down to your knees.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on, lads. We'll move on. What's the
Yeah,
next
I
question?
think so.
Right, we'll move on to the next one. Obviously, that was, pardon the pun, tongue in cheek. Well, it did happen now, but not like that. But anyway, will I do one or do you want to do one?
Yeah, I'll do this one, right?
Yeah,
so, well, lads, hope yous are all well. Good one for you here. I'm living in England at the moment, and I get asked the usual shite you would get as an Irishman. Recent examples include: have you seen any leprechauns? Do you drink Guinness? Them two came from some girl. My hypothesis is that she's a bit brain dead. Means no harm though, but I'm sure you can't be sure. Their crack is so shite it straightens my pubes. Without resolving to the usual muck, you would say with these cunts, what would you say to destroy them in an office-friendly way? I would like to hear one that would get me sacked if I say it out loud. The cunts can't understand half the time. The other thing, I have to repeat myself too much. Not to mention of the Lord our gracious hearing us, so fuck them. I don't know. That was a bit of a faux pas there. Help me out. Big fan, by the way. Keep her going. So
okay, so basically
he wants some
that's a bit,
handy.
cryptic.
Yeah, he wants some handy throwbacks to English office people when they come with shy crack?
I suppose they're still trying, God bless them. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know on the fuck.
It's if some people just won't get it. It's as simple as that. I'd say just keep doing what you're doing. Try and be as charming as possible. Try to be as endearing as possible.
The put downs have to come with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't.
That's the most Irish thing you can do.
Yeah. Don't like and definitely don't let them see that
They get to it.
they're getting to you, because that's when these type of people will put the foot on the neck, metaphorically, obviously. Definitely don't let them see that it's getting you down, and just remember your own self-worth, and there's a reason that they're trying to put you down.
But I don't know about you lads, but I've a brother in England, and at the weekend all he does is hang out with Irish lads.
Yeah,
Because
and
there's
hang
a
out as
different
well.
level of crack.
Yeah, but there's
with
some
Irish lads over there.
there's some brilliant English people
Of course.
as well, like there is in every nationality. But and the English are great crack too. But sometimes you can just get a bunch of people, and it mightn't even be that they're English. It might be just that they're a shower of cunts.
Maybe.
Simple.
Yeah, what I kind of got was he was looking to get the old heave ho, and he was looking for the most offensive and horrible kind of comebacks or something. But that girl who was like asking him about leprechauns and stuff does sound like an idiot. Trying to avoid her, but maybe try and do a Dick Van Dyke kind of Cockney accent, and then just I don't know. I was trying to think of some kind of English kind of stereotypes, but none kind of pop into my head that you can throw back at them.
It's a strange one.
He should shave his head, go in Monday morning, and just go, "Get out of my fucking pub, you fucking horse."
It's a Mitchell job. But best comebacks. Well, firstly, try and just like be charming, as Irishly charming as possible, and just keep the high moral ground. Just keep above that. Simple as that.
Look, he's clearly the man is a bit of crack himself.
Yeah,
you can tell that himself.
Crack. Yeah.
So well, he's probably got whatever comes into your head. If you want to get sacked, fucking go out, just, guns blazing.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, without killing anyone.
Yeah.
Like, we don't wake up tomorrow or in 2 days' time and like there's been a mass shooting in an office building in London.
An Irish lad.
I'd say he'll be okay. He probably just misses the crack at home. He'll probably get used to it eventually, and he'll lighten them up, and they'll come around to his way of thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking not missing much crack in Ireland at the moment.
Well, yeah, it's true. But I
try and get in, especially the weekends with, or when you're spare time with an Irish crowd. Definitely. Yeah. Or if it's really pissing you off, and just maybe look for another job.
Yeah. As well, I know that if he has to repeat himself the whole time, and he's just talking normally as he would, it can be very irritating.
There's no reason why he has to repeat himself. Like our accents and our language is exactly the same. That's just taking the piss.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
My advice is, if it doesn't change and you're still not unhappy, or you're still unhappy, find a different job. But obviously have one set up before you go. I wouldn't recommend anyone to quit their job without having some other backup or plan.
Go for the next one there, Steve.
Okay, we'll go for the next one. Hopefully that helped, and that. Right, listen, how are you boys? Love the new podcast and the charity work that you do. My problem is gambling. Simple as that. I'm in my early 30s now, but when I started betting years ago, I loved the buzz of it, but knew when to walk away. My grandfather loved an out flutter, but wasn't a big gambler, and used to tell all the stories of all the big horses, all the old stories of the horses. But now I don't enjoy anything without having a big bet on it, no matter what sport it is, and can't walk away till I've lost everything on the day or there's nothing else to bet on. But these days, with online gambling, it's 24/7. I wake up, I wake up, hold on, every day intending to stop, but by race time, I've talked myself into doing one, but it's never just one, and it's affecting my day-to-day life. Please advise.
That's like that's a serious addiction. If he feels that he can't function without.
Did that one stun you, Pete?
Huh?
Did that stun you?
Did it stun me a bit? Like, I can kind of understand the fucking bucking taking the coke, like, but the fucking gambling, it can get a hold. It's even worse, I think, in some way.
Apparently, it's one of the hardest addictions.
Yeah, just about the kind of gambling and stuff, to get rid of all the gambling apps and everything off his phone, and to contact Gamblers Anonymous or one of them kind of supports straight away, really, I think, and maybe to set up some kind of account where he cannot access the money straight away, like a credit union or something like that, where he puts a certain amount away so that he's not losing all his money the whole time. And then maybe if he can just talk about it, and just not to not be gambling online, to maybe, if he can, just if he needs to gamble, just have maybe a low amount of money in his pocket, have no other access to any other money, and go and do it like that, rather than having a card or having something where you can easily just continue gambling away, and then just try and get as much help as he can, and try and avoid completely that. So
yeah, that's good advice. That's good advice, Mikey, because I know that you enjoy it a bit, as I do myself, and I can relate to this as well. Years ago, especially when I had more money than sense, betting, I used to, and not only that, you'd spend so much time on it, betting, and of course you'll have big wins, but like the old saying, you'll always hear about the winners, but you'll never hear about all the losers.
I'd feel sorry for him, that something that he had a connection with his grandfather there, and it's almost been that all the good times that he had with his grandfather, having a few small bets, watching a few horse races, it's kind of ruined by the complete overtaking force, which is his gambling addiction. Like, what I think what Mike is, I'd almost go further than just putting it into a credit union account.
I think so too.
I'd always give all my finances to someone else to control.
Yeah, or like, I know, Mikey, you said like to go to like have a few pounds, and that's how I used to bet. I'd go down on the weekend and I'd put £50 or £20. I'd go down, I'd leave my bank card at home, and if I won, I won, and if I didn't, all I lost was £20 or £50 or whatever it was, and that's the way I done it. But I think it's gone too far for this fella.
Yeah, he can't be.
I think he has to stop altogether.
Just stop.
This is an addiction. What you're talking about there, Mikey, is someone that can have a bet and walk away.
Yeah,
and that's the way to do it. If you're going betting at all, I try not to bet as much as I don't bet at all these days. But I try not to. I think it's too far gone for this lad. I think if it's there in front of him, and it's hard because there's every ad on football, sports, television,
Social
you turn
media.
it on, social media. It's Paddy Power, it's Boyle Sports, it's Ladbrokes. They're firing at you, and it nearly makes it out that you cannot lose.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a poor bookie.
Yeah, that's true, and they should have to take some responsibility for that as well. Like, you know.
Yeah, like again, there's very little responsibility on the bookies to try and sort out.
So,
like if you've got someone that's addicted to alcohol in town and they've had too much, they're kicked out of a pub.
Yeah.
They won't be allowed to sit there for 12 hours
that's the problem
and just drink themselves to death.
That's the problem with gambling. You don't look like you've been gambling all day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you're gambling all day, you're not going to suck a cock in a bush, like. Do you know what I mean?
Why would you, if you were drinking all day, would you do that?
No, but like I was trying to lighten the mood there. A bit.
Yeah.
But,
the 8 o'clock in Wolverhampton's coming up. I better fucking suck a dick quick.
I was trying to lighten the mood. But not that there's anything wrong with sucking a dick in a bush. But what was I going to say? Yeah, he just needs help. He needs help. But there, Mikey, you were saying there's isn't there apps now where you can put a limit on how much you bet in the 24 hours and stuff?
Yeah, there is, but the problem with that P is there's about 20 different
apps you could go to.
There's 20 different apps that you could start up in 5 minutes.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, I think completely get rid of everything off the phone and definitely straight away contact some support for it, because I think especially with gambling, as you say, it's hard to recognize someone who hasn't, and they need to kind of really talk.
Yeah.
And as Steve said as well, it may be hard to, like, if you were addicted to smoking or drinking or something, having maybe one every month or something mightn't be too bad. It might be a way of weaning yourself off it. But with gambling, as you say, it may not be okay to have that. So just to try and just constantly, if he needs to, to talk to someone, and then maybe go out and do something else to get some kind of activity to kind of replace the adrenaline or whatever he felt from the gambling. So to whether it's exercise, whether it's building something, online gaming, like computer games or whatever he's into other than that. So to get some kind of like relief from the kind of thing he got from gambling.
When you look at like addicts, say take a George Best, who obviously had multiple chances, but he was such a dire addict at near the end of his life that he was so removed from the man he once was almost, and he had a liver transplant, and he was told another drink will kill him.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't enough. Like, his life is in his hands, and he still couldn't help himself.
Yeah.
So you're talking about something that's massively powerful. Like, it's a huge force. And gambling is the same. Social media can be the same. Like
100%. And
huge.
Sorry, I cut you off there, Chris. Sorry, keep going.
Just if with the type of gambling this lad is doing, it has to be a major overhaul of the way his life is. Everything has to be looked at. This
fella, I have a feeling, just cannot walk into a bookies or cannot turn on the laptop without like, it just, he has to delete it all from his life, and he's not gonna wake up in the morning and go, yeah, I'm not gonna think about it. He has to go and see help.
And if this is affecting
and you might win one day, but you'll never win in the long run. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, the house always wins. I suppose that's why Las Vegas is so big. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's an interesting one. But as Mikey said, is it good to go off it straight away, cold turkey? There's no, like,
it has to.
That's all there is. Yeah, really, you can't.
Yeah, like you can't really give him an allowance. He wins
Yeah.
and it goes on.
Yeah.
And it goes
You're only
on.
dragging it on, P.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. It's not like a normal addiction, like a chemical addiction, where you have to wean yourself off something.
Yeah.
You have to go cold turkey with this. I'd imagine. I don't know, but the professionals out there know more.
It's like a mental thing as well. You have to change your mindset and kind of thought, because obviously he's probably a sports fan as well. He probably watches football, and he probably watches more sports than anyone. Like he probably watching American football, Aussie rules, GA, all that, and he'd be just gambling on all of it. Like so, and it's nearly 24/7 with the places like there's horse racing in Hong Kong and Australia that go on through the night and stuff like that, and then later on in the night in the US and stuff. So
you sure it wasn't you, Mikey, that texted in?
no, it's only I have Sky Sports now, and you'd be flicking through the channels and just the things you can be watching and go on all night. The live sports and that.
Even on the sports things, you'll see it going around on the stadiums at football matches. You know, Betfair and
Yeah.
you know, it's just in front of you.
It's everywhere.
It's like it's worse than alcohol. That's the problem. They've banned the alcohol, but they haven't banned these Paddy Power apps or Paddy Power.
Yeah, and they've banned cigarettes as well.
Yeah.
It goes beyond that. It's in gaming now, like in a massive way. So
Yeah.
you see the likes of FIFA. FIFA have always been like, you have career mode and now you can play online. What they've started to do is they've added a gambling element to a section called Ultimate Team.
Mhm.
So what you do is you buy packets of players in the chance of getting a squad of great players that you could. So you can, it's like you mix a match, and the more you play it, or the more you pay, you can add to your ultimate team. So all these teenagers, like I know that's been banned from in countries like Belgium, because there's a gambling element to it, because you're paying for these gold packs or premium packs of footballers that'll come out. You'll get 4 of them at a time, and it might cost you €6 or €7. And these kids are looking for particular players, and they might spend 50 or 60 quid like that in the chance of getting it. You know,
It's crazy.
They're fuckers. They're fuckers. So they're.
Yeah.
they're gamifying, and they're turning a gambling element into a lot of these things. And that's where I think EA Sports made like $400 million in just those player packs last year,
That's crazy stuff.
and they reckon it's going to double this year. It's crazy stuff.
All that should come with the health warning, and that's another thing that should be.
But it's not. But it doesn't get a health warning in Ireland.
Yeah.
But it does. There's countries that are banning it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the only way to do it, I think. Yeah, health warning, exactly. Health warning is the first step. But I seen that they're recently doing more ads and saying gamble responsibly. But that's kind of still an ad for gambling, like.
Here, have 10 pints, but mind how you drink.
Yeah, it's true. We'll move on to the next one. The main thing there is for your man to get help straight away, as soon as possible.
Right away, I think that's the only answer to that. Like,
yeah, and keep in contact with the page and stuff, and tell us how you're getting on.
that is perfect. Yeah, great advice, Mikey. Do you want to do go one?
I've done the two.
Okay. Was that one about the? We'll do that one again.
Oh yeah, you do you have that read out?
No, the one that was checked in last night.
Yeah, I don't have it read out.
I don't have it wrote out. Do you know what?
I'll go on to use.
Yeah, we got one late last night, so it came through to the Instagram page, so we both got to see it, and it's. Yeah, I said we touched on it today, even though
I can give a bit of a synopsis on it anyway, you know, because it was quite
a long. It was quite a long.
Yeah, it was quite a long. So I was chatting with this young lad. He's 19 or thereabouts, and basically a couple of years ago, he's had some mental health issues. Oh, and what he ended up doing was he was abusing his dog. Okay. he was taking out his anger on his dog.
This is 3 or 4 years ago.
This is a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in the intervening time, he's had great support. He's had a girlfriend that's given him great support. His family's given him great support. He went to a therapist. You know, he's done a lot of the right things, you know, to try and get help for why did, like, he knows he did, you know, he's been trying to manage that. His problem is that he's having a difficulty managing his guilt. And he has a compulsion to tell people about it. Almost the way almost like an ADD thing, where he blurts it out, tries to explain it away. Like, the guilt is, he's finding it hard to deal with the guilt, and he has bad days. And look, he sees the dog all the time. The dog's at home. And he said it's a constant reminder. It's
And
tough.
he said he still has he has a great relationship with the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, again, we don't have to tell him that. He knows where I didn't ask him now any questions of why it got there. It's not my place to ask him what brought him to a point where he was attacking a pretty helpless animal. You know,
his issue at the minute is guilt.
The guilt. You know, so he was reaching out to the page looking for a little bit of advice if he, I think, just to reach out and have a chat. So I rang him earlier. I had a chat with him over the phone, you know, briefly. We'll talk to him again. Like, you know, he said that therapy has really helped him, because his therapist said if it wasn't the dog, it would have been someone else or himself. You know, something was going to get hurt. It's just horrible luck. The poor dog got it, like, you know.
I think he needs to stop feeling like, stop being so hard on himself. Yes, what he done was a bad thing, but he's obviously very remorseful about it, and you can't keep beating yourself up over it, or you're going to destroy the next 4 years. Yeah, or 3 or 4 years. And you've talked about it. These things unfortunately happen. Hopefully they will never happen again. And definitely, if you get the compulsion to do something like that again, that's when you really need to contact a proper doctor or a proper helpline. There's so many of them available. We do share them regularly on the page. So that would be my advice. But definitely stop beating yourself up over it. What's done is done, and the best thing you can do for yourself and the dog is to try and lead a happier life, and hopefully that you're never in that position again.
Yeah, 100%. And look at the positive. Like, the dog is still alive. Like, he still has the dog. Like, and the dog is he has a good relationship with the dog, and he went to counselling, and he's willing to talk about it. And he didn't hurt himself. He didn't hurt anybody else. He took it out on the dog. Whatever he was going through at the time, he's talking with his counsellor. So I think he's doing the right steps already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, exactly. If he needs to keep going to the therapist and keep talking things out, keep doing that. But he seems to be in a good place with his relationship and his family and stuff, and try and keep the positive things and keep that going. It's hard to know how to deal with guilt, like, and that, because he's obviously dealt with the problems and went to professionals and got help in that. So it's hard to know how to kind of get over that part of it, but it's just to try to think of the where you are now and the positive side of your life, and focus on that rather than on anything from your past or that, and being more kind of productive, or doing different things to kind of take your mind off your own guilt to.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I was thinking that might be able to help him is that if he goes and picks one positive change he can make every day, if he goes and writes down a list, 7 good things to do each week, take them up. There might be just something simple, keeping the turf filled up for the parents at home or something like that.
Anything.
But just make a positive action, do something each day that's going to make a difference to someone else, non-gratifying for you. You know, if you can constantly make a positive change along the way, you're making, it's not that you're always going to feel a little bit of guilt for doing something that you is wrong. And I don't have to go into the fact that you're dealing with this guilt, but let's try and make a positive change somewhere along the way. Pick a few things a week, try and do something for charity, pick something that's going to make a positive change on someone else, and maybe that'll ease some of the guilt.
Also, I was just going to say about like where he's kind of blurting out or telling people as well that he doesn't need to do that. It's like in his past, and he has to try and stop kind of telling people who don't need to know about it, and just kind of try and move on. That kind of sense.
Yeah, and maybe bring it up with his counselor or his psychiatrist. Why is he bringing it up with people? Does he want people to judge him? Does he want people to chastise him? Does he want them to punish him? And that's more guilt. That's more, he's self-inflicting the guilt on himself. But 100% what you said, Chris, I thought that was brilliant. If he does something every day that benefits somebody else, or benefits, even treat the dog for an extra walk or something, you know what I mean? Or something like that. That's a brilliant thing.
Yeah. The bringing it up in to random people, like, look, it's not something that I would do, but I think it is a manifestation of the part of the guilt that he just has to try and constantly explain. And not that's tough, but what he has to do is get into a self-control. Like, he knows when he feels like he has to explain it, find some sort of trigger that stops him in his tracks, talk about something else. Just find something, this one thing. If you feel like you're going to talk about this, you have a go-to thing to talk about. Did you see did you see Man United at the weekend?
Yeah, that's it. Because
as soon as he thinks that he's going to do it, triggers into one conversation. That's it. That's innocuous. It means nothing, but it's not repeating the guilt over and over and recycling that guilt.
Yeah, it's there comes a time to let go.
Yeah, and look at the positive too. The dog is still alive. Like, that's the positive.
And probably had a couple of years.
And he's a nice lad. Like, you wouldn't be, he's a good person, definitely. Yeah. Because he wouldn't feel guilty if he wasn't.
Exactly.
100%. 100%. Yeah. If he had no remorse, he'd be a psychopath. Like, you know what I mean? He's not. He has emotional connection to the dog, and he's guilty, and he keeps bringing it up because maybe he wants other people to, to judge him or to dish out a punishment. But he's punishing himself enough, and he has to let it go and let it release.
He's 19. He's still learning, and he's going to make other mistakes as well. What he has to do at this stage is kind of find a way to create positive changes instead of reliving this guilt over and over, because that's not going to benefit him, won't benefit his family. It'll turn into a spiral. He has to try and do something about it, create some action, and do it
exactly. Right, lads, we will move on. Hopefully we helped out there in some way, and like that as well. If you need, if you think it's going to come back, keep contacting the page. We'll help out as best we can, and we'll advise you.
Yeah, give me a text. Yeah, he has my number.
Yeah. So listen, last one for tonight, lads. It's short and sweet. Hi lads, I'm 23, have a problem getting an erection with girls I just meet for the first time. It seems to be no problem when I get to know them, and then it just says, any chance I'm gay?
Maybe he is gay.
But
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Like some people, sex. You know, you need to be. Some people would need to be comfortable for sex.
yeah, or
Yeah, comfortable with
does
the
he
other
have
person.
confidence issues? Is
That's what I
another
mean.
thing, like, you know.
And when he gets to know these girls, it obviously seems to be a lot better than. I wouldn't say that he's gay just because he gets nervous.
Maybe he likes dudes.
Maybe he does, and there's nothing wrong
You
with
know,
that.
that's-
Or
Maybe he's bisexual, or maybe he's asexual and he doesn't have the same sexual desires as everybody else, or maybe he's just a bit nervous, like Chris said, and he gets to know them then, and he's more comfortable, you know.
Yeah, like it's very difficult to, like, I don't think it's abnormal to be nervous around the first time
No,
with a
there's,
new
like,
girl or whatever.
Again, that could be anxiety.
Yeah, so he has to kind of really look into what's creating that kind of, you know, putting the brakes on things before they even start.
Yeah,
You know,
And
he
I
has
mean,
to really chat with them or something.
Like, I think this is this idea that all lads are out, like, oh, I have to, I have to ride this one, and I have to, sleep with this one, and do the business and everything like that. And some lads just take longer to do the business. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah, and exactly. And as he says, once he gets to know them and stuff, and he has no problem. So he's obviously not gay because he's with girls and he's aroused and having sex with them. But it might have other things as well, like there might have been alcohol or drugs involved with it, and he was nervous, and it might be due to that as well. That's not. But I'd maybe if he's really worried about it, just to ask a doctor or something like that, and
but
maybe
like this is normal. This is normal, I'm sure, for a lot of people.
And like, if he's having a really hard time getting an erection, we'll get Mikey Sam to send him a few nudes.
And then you'll know whether you're gay or not.
Yeah.
No, but I think he's making a mountain out of a molehill here. I think he's happy enough. The main thing is he's making a bond with somebody, and then he's more attracted to them. That's normal enough. That's 100% more normal than anything.
Like, I wouldn't assume that I was gay just because I couldn't get an erection with a girl.
Maybe he is. It's a weird question. It's a funny thing to throw in at the end. So he's obviously been thinking about that part a lot.
Yeah, but like maybe he is gay, and maybe he should experiment with a lad, like, do you know what I mean, and see if he gets an erection straight away. You know?
Yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah, well, whatever. I mean, whichever way, both are normal. That's what I'm saying. And don't.
Your face.
Sorry, Pete. I thought you were going to laugh.
It was Stephen's face. It was Stephen's face. Obviously, we're not laughing at the situation. We're laughing at our response to the situation.
We're still like the old young school kids from years and years ago. Listen, lad, whoever you are, because we keep everyone anonymous here. You're not.
Yeah, we're not laughing. We're not laughing. I just put it there. We're not laughing at his we're not laughing at his problem. I'm laughing at Stephen's response to what I said. You know what I mean? That's what I'm laughing at. But I think he's okay. I think he's 100%. He's in a positive place.
Yeah. Perfect.
And like, if it means that you have to spend more time with someone to get comfortable before you start having sex, do that.
Yeah. Just because
that's a good thing. Like, that's a positive thing.
It's a brilliant thing, because there's like, and there's an awful lot of this bravado, like, oh, I'm going to go bang this one now, and not all lads are like that, but it's this, like, what did Donald Trump call it around the time? Locker
room talk.
Locker room talk. Forget it. That's like, It's trash.
bollocks, like,
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Like that is bullshit. This talk of like you're only defined by how many fucking notches the bedpost. It's all wank. You know.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
So that is it, lads. That is it for tonight's one. We will do another one next week. Will I sign off here?
That's it.
All right, lads.
Yeah, thanks for everyone to contacting the page and keep them coming. Really enjoying the conversations that we're getting going.
It's perfect. And it's great for us to talk about things as well. And please subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Dead Hedgehogs. We will be sharing stuff on that and on Patreon as well. We're not in it for the money, but it does help with the quality of our platforms and podcasts and that. So if you can at all, please donate, even if it's just a small bit, to keep us.
Send your issues to the 3 Bucks Left Instagram page or Facebook page, or send it to our email address, dead.hedgehogs.channel@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll probably share all that anyway with the
And obviously, to anybody that's watching or writing in, we're not professionals, and we're semi-comedians, and we do say things with tongue in cheek. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but we're trying to bring a bit of humor to people's problems, and we're not laughing at people. Just in case people thought we were laughing at people there, we weren't.
Yeah, we're just giving what our advice as long as we're around this world, and what we would do or what we would advise each other, and we'd like to think that we're speaking from the heart, really.
100%.
All right, lads.
Fair enough.
That's brilliant.
Be handy, lads.
Lads, see you later on, all right?
All right,
Good luck,
cheers,
guys.
lads. See ya.
See you. Bye. Bye.